We all want the schools to reopen, Savannah. All of us who have children in our lives, they want to go back to school. We want them to go back to school. Teachers want to teach.
But what about that CDC guidance
priority.
then? That's the question. Look, again, parents watching, what is the bottom line? What does it mean for schools to be reopened, and how soon can they be reopened?
So our goal is that as many K-8 schools as possible will reopen within the first 100 days.
I don't want to beat it to death, but I know there are teachers listening, and the CDC has said they don't have to be vaccinated to go back to school.
We think they should be a priority. We think they should be a priority.
Vice President Harris today struggling to articulate the Biden administration policy on getting students back in America's classrooms for in-person learning. Let's bring in former California teacher Rebecca Friedrichs and Harmeet Dillon, founder of the Center for American Liberty. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
From the New York Post today, Kamala Harris fumbles when challenged on school reopenings in Today interview. Savannah Guthrie, to her credit, tried to get a straight answer from the vice president. Rebecca, how do you read it?
Well, I don't know why we're surprised at all about the lying and the hypocrisy of the unions and their political allies. The Biden and Harris administration have this shifting timetable on school reopenings because they are totally and completely controlled by the corrupt unions who masquerade as teachers. They do not represent us. The Biden admin and the unions are using our kids as pawns in their political games, and this is really dangerous. It's about money, power, greed, and control, and pushing their leftist/communist agenda. We really have to fight this. We have to be awake, and I don't know why anybody would want their kids in a union-run school. We need to get these unions out of our schools, and we need to awaken to what's really going on here.
President Biden tried assuring a little girl she is safe from COVID. Let's play it.
The evidence so far is children aren't the people most likely to get COVID. You're the safest group of people in the whole world, number one. Number two, you're not likely to be able to be exposed to something and spread it to mommy or daddy. And it's not likely mommy and daddy are able to spread it to you either. So I wouldn't worry about it, baby, I promise you.
Harmeet, your assessment.
Well, I agree with the president, and indeed that's why the Center for American Liberty went to court last July to sue the California governor to allow our children to be educated in California, and Kamala Harris represented the state. But to a man and woman, every California Democrat supported the governor's decision to put the interests of the teachers union ahead of the students. And so if only the president were able to lecture the teachers union that in fact they too, the vast majority of the teachers, are also not at risk according to the science that has repeatedly been shared with our government. And so absent in this conversation is what's good for the children and the health of the children. The mental health of the children, the physical health of the children of America is being negatively impacted. And finally, I would say this wasn't her being caught short or befuddled. These are literally the talking points of her administration that she uttered today. Her spokesperson, Simone Sanders, said the exact same words on CNN today as well. So this is their line. They're trying to have it both ways, and nobody's holding them accountable.
Now the CDC appears to be moving the medical goalposts, and it's not clear when our schools will reopen. Listen to this.
There's literature out that suggests that over 90% of people, when they're masked, you can have safe opening of schools. What I will say is this is directly related to how much disease is in the community. We have more flexibility in opening schools as our disease rates come down. So I would say this is everybody's responsibility to do their part in the community to get disease rates down so we can get our schools opened.
Rebecca, what do you make of that comment?
Well, look, every teacher I know wants to be in the classroom. They wanted the classrooms open in spring 2020. Parents I know want the same thing. Again, these unions are using us as pawns to push their political agenda. Another thing the unions have done is they actually rewrote the scientific method. They crossed out empirical evidence based on the repeated steps of the scientific process and changed that to scientific theory based on consensus. And then they only take the consensus of their leftist, socialist agenda folks. So we just have to see through the propaganda here. Our schools need to be open. Our children need to be educated. Our teachers are ready to go back and teach. The Biden administration and the teachers unions do not speak for America's good teachers. They're ready to teach.
To California, and embattled Governor Gavin Newsom from Cap Radio. Investigation: big Newsom donors, including Blue Shield, received no bid contracts during COVID-19. Response: Harmeet, does that raise red flags?
Well, it's business as usual in California. United Health, as well as several other vendors who are donors to the governor to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars, got no bid contracts. The governor has allowed the movie industry to have meals and operate during COVID while school children cannot be educated in our schools. Why? Because the lobbyist for the film industry was sitting next to the governor at that French Laundry dinner. So that's how business is done in a one-party state. It is corrupt, and we are seeing it right in front of our eyes to the detriment of our state and our citizens.
We have to leave it there. Rebecca, Harmeet, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.